What's going on out there, everybody? Alan D9J Sports. Hey, we're right back at it with another show. Hope you guys are doing okay out there. I know it's kind of cold. It's supposed to get a little bit colder as we go in the 409. And make sure you take care of yourself and check on the elderly people. If you got some people out there that you know, and make sure you watch those heaters too, so we don't want to have any accidents. So, hey, we've got a great one lined up for you today. All my subscribers, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. Now, I'm going to be doing a series, and it's probably going to be a 5 or 6 part series about high school football and high school recruiting. So if you are and it's for everybody, but if you're in the 409, I'm telling you, if you're in the 409, do not skip over this video. Do not skip over. You need to share it with some people. Share it with everybody that you know, the parents and the kids out there who are playing football, who are still in there. And moving forward, you will kind of get, as we go through the video, you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from. And I promise you with everything in me, that this is going to be really informative for you and your kid moving forward. So we're going to be talking football, of course. So let's take a look at what we want to take a look at is college recruiting. That's what we're going to be talking about, college recruiting, and how high school kids are really getting looked over. And the reason why they're getting looked over is because of all the transformations that have happened in college football. So with the transfer portal being the way that it is, remember, football is a business. It is a business. It is a big-time business. And college football is definitely a big-time business. So I want you to think for yourself. A coach is going to, what would you rather, if you're a coach and you're on the bubble or whatever, or even if you're not on the bubble, it's about producing and about winning. So if you're a coach, are you going to take a chance on a kid that's coming out of high school that isn't a 5-star recruit? He's a 2-star, 3-star, or maybe in a lot of cases, there are a lot of kids that don't get those stars. They don't go to camps. They don't go to the camps. They don't get the recognition. So if you're a coach, would you take a chance on a kid in the transfer portal that has some experience? Or are you going to take a chance on a high school kid? You're going to take a chance on the kid in the portal. So what that does, it limits the amount of playing time players that particular school may be looking for. Now, in the 409, over and over again, ladies and gentlemen, over and over again, what happens is I get parents, I get kids, hey, Coach Duck, can you reach out to this school? Can you reach out to this school and see if you can get me a look or whatever? And I try to do my best, but I'm telling you, it's tough because, once again, I'm going to tell you, a coach is going to want a kid that's in the transfer portal that already can play college football, and it's going to be tougher on those kids. And what happens is parents wait until too long and don't get their kid the proper training, and for some reason they don't listen. And they're not my kids, so all I can do, and all the guys within my circle and what I do is try to give them the advice. So we're going to start off. We're going to be talking about the quarterback position and how your kid can probably more than likely be successful in getting a scholarship to go play quarterback. Now, the number one thing that you're going to have to realize is that your kid is going to have to be the number one thing. He's going to have to be fundamentally sound. And that isn't going to happen. That's not going to happen when he gets to be a senior in high school, and then all of a sudden you want to work on his fundamentals. It's going to be too late. I'm telling you, it's going to be too late. You have to start off at an early age, 7th grade, 8th grade. And I'm not a big Pee Wee proponent. You guys know me. I'm not a big proponent of Pee Wee football. But you've got 7th and 8th grade, you've got to be technically sound. When you get to the 9th and the 10th grade, if you're not already there, it's like a boxer, ladies and gentlemen. We will use the big guy Deontay Wilder. No matter how many times right now at an older age as he works on working his jab out there, when the rubber hits the road, he's going to go back to being a slugger. And that's what happens when you're a quarterback. If you wait too long to try to get developed and work on your fundamentals, then you're going to be in trouble. You're definitely going to be in trouble. So how can the parents, you as a parent, how can you make sure that if your kid has the talent, what can you do to give your kid the edge? Well, first off, you're going to need to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to be willing to give your kid to a trainer. Now, I'm not telling you this because I want your kid to train your kid. I've got kids that I train. I'm telling you, you need to find somebody and give your kid to that trainer, and not 6 trainers, not 7 trainers, and not your local homeboy. Man, pay attention to this one. Not your local homeboy who just thinks that he was a good player, because we know the farther you get away from football, then the better you were. But you need to get your kid with somebody that's going to really work on those fundamentals. You're going to have to take yourself out of it and your emotion out of it. So one of the things that I run into a lot is, in some cases, and I don't end up helping those kids, what I run into is some parents want to critique what goes on. Well, you're not gonna. To be blatantly honest with you, you are not a good quarterback. So if I'm trying to give your kid some advice and work your kid, I don't need you telling your kid, hey, you should do this, or your homeboy telling them you should do that, okay, because they really do not know. They really do not know. Now, in the cases of the kids that I work with, most of them, and you guys know that they're successful. They're successful. And the reason why is because the parents of those kids, hey, we have an agreement. Once I agree that, hey, I'm going to help your kid work on that quarterback position, then they're out of it. I mean, they come to workouts, but there's nothing. They don't say anything. And time after time, we continue to work. We work on the basics. And it's about working on the fundamentals. And once you master those fundamentals, then we progress up. For instance, playing a quarterback position is about footwork. It's about footwork and technique. So I'm going to have you work on your footwork and your technique so much until you're going to be sick of me. But in the end, you're going to find out it's going to be habitual. See, to play the quarterback position, you have to work on your habits. You got to be habitual. You got to work on those things. And if you get the right trainer and the right toolage, he's going to instantly know, okay, he's going to take you through a series of things, and then he's going to be breaking you down as he goes, and then he's going to know, okay, we can continue to brush up on these, but in Group A, we will brush up on this, but over here in Group B, these are the areas that we really need to hone in on. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because there are kids all over the country. Let's be honest, everybody wants to play quarterback. Okay? Everybody isn't going to be able to play quarterback. Now, the problem that we run into in the 409 is you have kids that are out there playing quarterback, and I say it all the time and people get upset with me, but they're out there playing peewee quarterback. So I was at the state championship games, and I'm here to tell you, the quarterbacks up there, you could tell that they had been developed. They had been developed. And and our kids around here, some of them are, but the kids up there, you can see the development in those kids. As a coach, for me sitting back and watching them and knowing, hey, this kid been developed. This kid, hey, 3-step drop, bam. Hey, he knows that there's no hitches in 3-step drop, 5-step drop. There may be 2 hitches, 1 hitch, 2 hitches. Now, if you don't know if you're not a trainer, you never played position, you don't know what I'm talking about by hitches. Okay? But for those of you out there, the coaches, and you guys know what I'm talking about, hey, that back foot hits the ground. So, for instance, there are some kids around here that play, and they're during the regular season, you're thinking, man, he's great. But then when time for him to get a scholarship, nobody even offers him a scholarship to play quarterback. And the reason why is because they seen something in him that he isn't fundamentally sound. See, just because you go out in high school in the 409 and you probably, I don't know, pass for a few touchdowns and rush for a couple times, it's going to take a whole lot more than that, because you got to think there are a lot of kids out there, and a coach isn't going to put himself on the line when he knows give a scholarship up to a university or junior college or whatever, when that kid, he knows that he's playing pee-wee football out there. He's probably bigger than the other kids. I'm just keeping it real. I can give you examples of kids that may win the Willie Ray Smith Award, or that may or win this award out here in South Texas, and they play the quarterback position, but they don't get an offer at all. So what does that tell you? They don't get an offer to play quarterback. That tells you that there are some fundamental things that happen. So playing the quarterback position, you're going to have, first off, you're going to have to be big. You're going to be tough. I'm not saying you got to be 6'9", 6'6", 6'4", but you're going to have something. You can't, if you're 5'11", well, if you're 5'11", you're going to have something to go with 5'11". You're going to be 5'11". You're going to have to be technically sound. You're going to have a rocket as an arm, and you're going to have to be very durable. You're going to have to be a leader, and you're going to have to be able to read. You're going to have to be able to do. You got to have something. You can't be 5'11" and just, hey, your team won a bunch of games, and now you expect you're going to get a scholarship. It doesn't work like that, ladies and gentlemen. Because I can tell you, there are some kids up there that I saw that were 5'9", maybe at best. They were bigger. They were better than some of the kids that are in our area in the 409, and it wasn't even close. Simply because they may have been 5'10" and 5'11". They were 5'10", 5'11". They were fast. They could throw the football. They took punishment, and you could tell. Hey, they were reading the defenses. They were dropping back. They were not just scrambling out of the pocket. They were stepping up in the pocket. They were stepping up in the pocket, keeping their eyes downfield. So those some of the things right there. That all goes back to fundamentals. It goes back to fundamentals. Now, if you are a kid that you like to put in the work, then there's going to be an opportunity for you. I'm sure there's going to be an opportunity for you. Now, for the kids who are not willing to put in the work, and you think that you're going to be, and even for the kids and a parent, you thinking that in 20 and 25, your kid, oh, he's just better than them. I'm here to tell you, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when it comes to the quarterback position. And that's what we're talking about today. Remember, we're going to move on in the next, tomorrow, we're going to go into the, let's say the wide receivers, and then I'm going to bunch up the defensive backs, and the wide receivers will be bunched up together. And then we'll move on in our series about with the linemen and everything else. Okay. So once again, and I got this Texans cup, but somebody gave it to me. A church member gave it to me. So I don't know if the Texans are going to win, but that's a different show. So let's get back. And hey, I need you to hit the like and subscribe button. I definitely need you to make sure you tell everybody in the 409 that they need to watch this show. Doesn't really make any sense, you guys. Most of you guys know me in the 409. You know I'm a sports person. Hey, and you know I wouldn't steer you wrong on this channel. I always tell it the way it is. I don't pick and choose sides, and especially when it comes to this football, you know that I'm gonna tell you how it really is. So let's get back to it. Okay, parents, you gotta be, you have to, and I'm talking to the parents in the 409. You gotta be willing to really trust somebody. You gotta be able to trust somebody to work with your kid. I mean, without your input in it. Now, if you are a former quarterback, and you feel like that you were great, okay, I can't tell you what to do with your kid, okay? Because I do get that part. Because my kid, if he plays next year, I don't know if he's going to play. If he does play, I'm not going to send him to somebody else. I'm going to work him, but it's going to be a different type of thing than just going out there throwing the football around. It's going to be core developmental work. For all of you coaches in the 409. Now, let's keep it a buck You know exactly where I'm coming from when I'm telling you about the portal and how difficult it is for kids to get scholarships. And you already know what's going to happen when a kid doesn't get a scholarship after he's played for you for several years, and those parents are going to be upset with you. You already know it. So you need to make sure, if you got some quarterbacks out there, you need to get them in with some tutelage, right? You need to get them some real tutelage. Not this stuff that you're going to go read up, you're going to break some stuff down off of YouTube, but you didn't play quarterback. But you're going to break some stuff down off of YouTube, and then you're going to put them through this training program of your own. What you're going to do is break some stuff down off of YouTube. You're going to put them through a training program, and then when they get to be a senior in high school, nobody's going to come a calling. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. You got coaches, and for most of you coaches out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, there are some coaches, and I'm not going to be afraid to tell you. Most of you know. You see Babin over there in Woodville. You see, hey, his coaching staff and his parents, hey, we put in the work. They don't say a word. They don't. Now he goes down some in Houston and trains down there with DJ Lagway and them. But for the most part, hey, we put in the work, man. And the bad, they don't say anything. And his coach, hey, man, they're all on board, man. And you see the results. And if you know me, you know all about the story. Because what happened, and I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you the story. I was in this thing. And a friend of mine tells me, hey, we got this kid never played football, and he's going to be a phenom. Well, of course, as a trainer, all parents tell you that. Then I started working with the kid day after day after day after day. It'd just be me and him out there. It'd be 100 degrees before he ever even played. And you already see how he progressed up. Not afraid to put in the work. And his parents are not afraid to say, hey, Coach Allen, hey, man, y'all get in the work. So you see the results. There are so many kids. You remember Bowden, Major Bowden, 2021, Mr. Texas football. Hey, he put in the work. So those are some of the things that you gotta be really focusing in, because I'm telling you, in the blink of an eye, it's gonna be over, and you're gonna be calling myself, or you're gonna be calling some guy that you know, or girl, saying, hey, can you get somebody to talk for my kid, when you've had all the opportunities to say, hey, this is the way it is. This is the way you've had opportunities for somebody to come and tell you that you're going to need the tutelage. He's going to need the tutelage. Remember, I'm telling you this. It is a very difficult position to play. It isn't like back in the day where, hey, man, schools will come a calling because they didn't have the transfer portal. Okay, but now they've got the transfer portal, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have your kid fundamentally sound. I cannot stress to you how important it is and how important it's going to be for your kid to be fundamentally sound at the quarterback position. First off, I'm going to tell you can't hold the ball down here. He's going to have to hold the ball up here. You can't wind out like Tim Tebow. No disrespect to Tim Tebow. He's one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time, but he played on talent, on just pure heart and talent. But you're not going to be able to wind the football up like that, okay? And if your kid plays baseball, there's a difference in the release of a baseball than football quarterbacks. There's a big difference. So if you play quarterback and you're wanting to get a scholarship, you need to be out there throwing the football right now. I'm telling you, you need to be working on your fundamentals right now. Now, when you're going, if they do not get a trainer, and most of the schools have the field houses open in the summertime, and the coaches really can't. I don't think the coaches can really interact too much with the kids, but the field house is open. So there's a heck of a difference in saying, "Oh, we going to work out." What quarterbacks? Do you know what you're going to work? Or are you just going up there saying, "Hey, we're going to lift weights and we worked out"? That's not going to get it. You're going to have a plan. You got to have a plan. Now, you quarterbacks out there, if you're committed to your craft, things are going to work out. You're going to have to sacrifice something. Parents and the players, you're going to have to sacrifice something to be great. See, because, ladies and gentlemen, good isn't going to get it. Not now. not 2025. It's money floating around. And I want you to think for yourself right now. Right now, I want you to think for yourself. You've got a kid, and you already know that he's pretty good. He plays quarterback. You already can tell, man, he's pretty good. You've had some of the right people, not just the fan boys. You've had some of the right people. Coaches tell you, hey, I think he's pretty good. Now, I want you to think for yourself. Do you have enough money? Now, you may be rich that he's going to go to college regardless, or do you have enough money? Or are you well off to say, well, he ain't got to get no scholarship? Or you one of those people say, well, I got enough money or not. If my kid gonna play football, then he can get a scholarship. Hey, then we need to work. We need to put ourselves in the right position so he can get it. Now, if you're gonna put him in the right position and you know that he can quarterback, then why not take the time out right now, get him somebody who's gonna train him right, get him and leave it alone. Not you as the trainer. Not you. Don't put your input on it. Let that trainer, trust that trainer. And because what'll happen, ladies and gentlemen, if he's got it, when you talking a year or two, say if he's in the 10th grade, you ain't gonna have to worry about whether or not he's gonna get a scholarship. He might get an NIL deal. Don't you think about that? He puts in the work, he's gonna get an NIL deal. That's real talk. That isn't something that I'm making up. That's real talk. And believe it. You believe this. They're paying quarterbacks now to be successful in they're paying quarterbacks. They're paying all the kids, but they're paying quarterbacks. I want you to let this sink in right now. They're paying quarterbacks. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking they're getting that money in the NFL, they're paying college quarterbacks a hefty sum of money. So where you would used to think, man, if my kid can just get by, man, and get him a scholarship, man, and then maybe make it to the NFL. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you. You put in the work now, your kid gets a scholarship. NFL, he can get him some money, enough money in his 3-4 years of college that you be thinking, man, hey, man, he may not have to play again. I want you to really think about that. And especially you quarterbacks out there, I'm going to continue to tell you. We've got just a couple more minutes to go. But I'm going to tell you, quarterbacks out there, you got to put in the work. And you're not going to get by playing pee-wee football on varsity. It's not going to work when it comes to getting a scholarship. It's not going to work. It's not. When you're out there running around and you're bigger than the other kids, your team may be winning, but the quarterback on the other team, every time he drops back, 3-step drop, he's getting rid of the football. 5-step drop, he may be 1 hitch, 2 hitch. He know who's to check down to. You can tell that he's reading the defense. That's what the college scouts are looking at. They're not looking at you running around out there because you're bigger than the other kids, or maybe you have a little bit. They're not. I'm here to tell you from experience. Now, for those of you who know me, you already know how to coach. You know how to play the quarterback position at a high level. So I'm giving it to you the real. So you will not, because I do not want to continue year after year to tell people this, and they don't listen. And then when the season's over with, they're calling, hey, Coach Allen, hey, Coach Duck, you think you can talk? Well, then the truth about it is, that's going to really be difficult for me to do, because if you didn't listen to me then when I was trying to put you in a winning position, why would I call a school and say, hey, we got this kid, let's give him a try? Because the first thing they're going to say, hey, Coach, what about his fundamentals? We've seen him on film, but, man, what about his fundamentals? Ain't nobody. Because most of the teams that I deal with, it's not like just all of a sudden, hey, once a year I talk to him. I'm either at a game with him. I talk to the coaches. So, hey, I'm giving it to you the real. I'm giving it to you real about the quarterback position. Now, finally, I'm going to tell you out there, parents, if you don't listen to me, you may ought to listen to somebody. And finally, Jasper Bulldog quarterbacks. I don't even get it. I'm just going to tell you right now, I do not get it. But once again, we're going to have another year pass by, and it's going to be the same thing. So we're going into this season right now. We had a quarterback last season. He's going to be gone. Okay, so we're going to this season right now. Our starting quarterback, whoever that may be. And that's an issue right there. We've got a starting quarterback going into this season. I don't know who it is. And I've been around most of the kids. Hey, fundamentals. Now, and if you send, and if parents in Jasper, if you send your kid down to Houston and let him train for a couple of days and come back, I'm here to tell you, I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. What I'm saying is 2 workouts isn't going to get it. It's going to need to be a summer full of workouts. And if we're about to start, when we start the season up, and if your kids ain't got 5 workouts with a trainer and you get out there, I'm telling you, Jasper Bulldogs, it's going to be the same old story. It's going to be the same old story. I don't care whether the coach gets mad. I'm telling you, because you know what? Right across the street, y'all know where I'm talking about. He's not going to be waiting. He's not going to be waiting, okay, 3 weeks before the season starts to get a couple of workouts in. It ain't going to happen. And right next door to them, they're not going to be. They've already, hey, coach, when we going to start? Hey, when are we going to put this thing together? Right up the other way. There's about 6 of them. They don't play for Jasper. It's about 6 of them that are going to be in the program, and they're going to be working all summer. They're going to be working on it all summer long. And they're not going to have a problem with, man, we 3-step dropped all day today. Okay, we read defenses all day today. Then the next day, hey, we 5-step drop, we hitch. Hey, we done the RG3 drill. We done all these drills all day long. We've done it so much. They're going to be happy to do it. They're going to be happy to do it. But then when the season is over with next season, those kids are going to be getting scholarships. I'm just keeping it real with the Bulldogs. So this is Alan with D9J Sports, man. I hope you guys like the show. I hope it's informative. But just remember, the reason why so many high school kids are not getting scholarships now is because of the transfer portal. If you want your kid to be successful, and we're talking about the quarterback position today, whether it's D9J Sports or whoever it may be, you need to get him with somebody and get him in the program. So we're going to come back tomorrow around the same time, around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we're going to go into defensive back and wide receivers. Defensive, and we may even throw the running backs in there, okay? Defensive backs, wide receivers, and running backs tomorrow between 2:30 and 3 p.m. Once again, make sure you share this video with everybody, especially if you're in the 409. Make sure you share it with everybody. Till the next time, Alan with D9J Sports, I'm definitely out.